Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Malki Assad, plastic surgery resident, and welcome to this special tutorial on how to use SPSS. Before we dive in the details of this tutorial, make sure to check out my statistics course in which I cover all the aspects related to statistical analysis so you can do statistical analysis on your own. It has over 20 hours of recorded videos, over 100 quizzes, assignments and exercises, monthly live webinars in which we can interact and you can ask me any questions you have about the course, and a certificate at the end of this course. So I will leave the link for that in the description below and in the cards above. And now let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is to download SPSS on your computer, and I will leave a link for the SPSS program in the description of this video. So after you download the program, you can open it and you would see this window here. In order to import data, you click on this folder here and you would pick a folder from your computer to import the data. So I will leave the link for this data that I will be using in this video so you can use it and practice on your own. So you will see that there is nothing here shown up, although there are Excel files in this stat tutorial folder. So in order to avoid this problem, you go here to files of type and scroll down to all files, and then you would be able to see the Excel file. So the Excel file in our example is the smoking. So let's choose that and click open. And you will receive this window. Make sure that you're choosing the right sheet, that variable names from the first row are read as the column headers. So you can see here the column headers, and here are the data starting from row 2 in the Excel file. It would be coded as row 1 here, and click OK. And now you have your data in SPSS. Before we start doing the analysis, go to a variable view and make sure that your data is coded correctly. So there are two main types of data in statistics. The first one is called categorical data, when you have categories. For example, smoking, no smoking, having lung cancer, not having lung cancer, radiation, no radiation. So you have groups. On the other hand, age is a continuous variable. It has numbers. It's a numeric variable. So in order to make sure that it's coded correctly, go here to measure and make sure that nominal is where the categorical variables are. So smoking, lung cancer and radiation are categorical variables, so make sure it's nominal. And for continuous variable, make sure it's scale. So if that's the case, make sure that the type is numeric in all, because even though this is categories, this is coded in numbers, so 0, 1 instead of yes, no. So make sure that these are numeric, because SPSS would prefer all the data to be in numbers, even if it represents categories. And then go to data view. The first thing that we need to do is to describe the data. See how many we have: smoking, no smoking, what is the mean age, median age, the percentages. So in order to do that, you go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequencies. First, start with your categorical data. Here we have smoking, lung cancer, and radiation as categorical data. So we would pick these. Make sure this is checked, Display Frequency Tables, and then click OK. And here SPSS would calculate the numbers and percentages for each of these variables. So let's start with smoking. We have 0, which stands for no, and 1 stands for yes. So we have the frequency, which is the number in each group, and the percentage here. The same for lung cancer, frequency and percentage, and radiation, frequency and percentage. Here we have 3 groups. So here we have the frequency, the number of observations in each of these groups, and the percentage. Let's see how we do the descriptive analysis for continuous data. You go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequencies, the same place. You would move these variables here and move the continuous variables such as age back here. Uncheck Display Frequency Tables, choose Statistics, and then pick the statistics that you would like to see. Generally, we pick mean, median, quartiles, standard deviation, and click Continue. And then click OK. And you would get the descriptive statistics for the age. Here you have mean, you have the median, standard deviation, the percentiles. There are some criteria that you need to look at when assessing whether the mean or the median should be used for your continuous data, and I discussed that in details in my statistics course. Now let's go to chi-square. If you wanted to compare, for example, smoking and lung cancer, relationship between two categorical variables, the test for that is the chi-square test. So to perform that, go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and cross tabs. Put smoking in one of these boxes, so we'll pick rows here, and lung cancer, the other variable, in the other. Go to Statistics and choose chi-square, click Continue, go to Cells and ask for expected rows, columns, and total. These gives you the percentages out of the total, out of the column, out of the row. And the expected is important to assess whether you should use the chi-square or the Fisher's exact test. So after you're done, click Continue and click OK. Here is the cross tabs. This is the table that you're interested in to see the expected percentages. Here you have no, yes, and you can see the 2 by 2 table. Here you have the total. And in this table, we have the p-value for the chi-square test. Which number is it? It's this one here, 0.004 under the two-sided on the same row as the Pearson chi-square. But in order to perform the chi-square test, you need to meet certain assumptions. I discussed that in details in my statistics course. But if you don't meet the assumptions of the chi-square test for the 2 by 2 table, you can use the Fisher's exact test. And this is the p-value for the Fisher's exact test. Now let me show you how to do the t-test. So if you wanted to compare a continuous variable between two groups, for example, if you want to compare age between those who smoke and those who don't smoke, you use the t-test. In order to perform that, you go to Analyze, Compare Means, and Independent Sample t-test. And you would get this here. Pick age under the test variable and smoking under grouping. You have to define your groups. We have group 0 and group 1, and click Continue, and then click OK. And here you have your t-test results. This is the Levene test for equality of variances. If you have equal variance, you would use the p-value on the first row. If you don't have equal variance, you would use the p-value on the second row. But where is the p-value for the t-test? It's this one here, the 0.503, the 0.54. Here is the mean difference, and this is the 95% confidence interval for the mean difference. But again, there are assumptions that you need to meet in order to use the t-test. Performing the test itself is not that hard, but knowing what test to use and whether this test is the best or another test is what's hard about statistics. So you can check out my statistics course to see the details of when should you use the t-test, when should you use the Mann-Whitney test, which I'll show you now. If you don't meet the assumptions of the t-test, you use a non-parametric test. In this example, we will use the Mann-Whitney test. So go to non-parametric tests, legacy dialogues, and then go to 2 independent samples, and then pick age under test variables, smoking under grouping variables, click on define groups, click 0 and 1 for the groups, continue, and we have Mann-Whitney U test checked, click OK, and this is the p-value for the Mann-Whitney test. But what if you wanted to compare a continuous variable such as age between more than two groups? So here we had smoking, no smoking. What if you have current smoker, previous smoker, and no smoker? So you have 3 groups or 4 or more. In this case, you would use the ANOVA test. To use the ANOVA test, we will use age and radiation because radiation has more than 2 groups. It has 3 groups. To do the ANOVA test, you go to Analyze, Compare Means, One-Way ANOVA, then pick your continuous variable under Dependent List and your categorical variable under Factor, and then click OK. And you would have your ANOVA test here, and this is the p-value of the ANOVA test. But again, ANOVA test has assumptions that you need to meet in order to do this test. If you don't meet the assumptions of the ANOVA test, you can use the Kruskal-Wallis test, which is the non-parametric version of ANOVA. To do the Kruskal-Wallis test, you go to Analyze, Non-Parametric Tests, Legacy Dialogues, K Independent Samples, and then pick age, which is the continuous variable under Test Variable List, and pick your groups or your categorical variable under grouping variable, and then define range. Define range stands for the groups, how are they coded. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3, so the range would be from 1 to 3. So this depends on how your variables and values are coded. So click on Continue. We have Kruskal-Wallis test checked. Click OK. And here you have the p-value of the Kruskal-Wallis test. That brings us to the end of this quick tutorial on how to use SPSS to perform statistical analysis. If you have any questions about this tutorial or statistics in general, make sure to leave it in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter at Malki Assad, or my Facebook page, Malki Assad MD. If you're interested in learning more about statistical analysis and the assumptions and when to use each test, practice with examples, make sure to check out my statistics course and my research course to learn how to conduct research studies. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and see you in future videos.